Yvonne. My job is, I'm currently actually between jobs, or I don't know, unemployed. I was a lawyer. I'm still kind of a lawyer, but I'm trying to move into startup world, and I'm trying to start my own company. So I was actually previously in London, and I came back to Sydney for my cousin's wedding, and the plan was to apply for a visa to then get back to London, and do my startup stuff. But I obviously, like, I got stuck because all the restrictions started to happen in Sydney. Because I am between jobs, I can still work as a quasi lawyer. What I'd like to do ideally is, while I am in Sydney waiting out the COVID crisis, still be working, I guess, part time in law so that I can earn an income. But then on the other side, start paving my way back to London, but also building my startup business so that I can get that. So it's kind of, I'm like trying to do two things at once, but my focus isn't in law anymore. It's now in startup stuff. Because in startup world, there's a lot of everyone's on Twitter, and so I'm following a bunch of people on Twitter and like seeing the activity around the VC startup space, and to see where the VCs are still investing in companies during COVID-19. Actually, it's really interesting because in the startup world, not things are still going. VCs aren't like not investing. I think VCs recognize that things are still, that this is all temporary. So they're not really putting anything on hold. I'm also attending a lot of online conferences and online webinars that are like live. And it's really interesting because people will, there are networking events afterwards, like also people in my situation who have just quit their like jobs, or like, their profession to go into like startup world. So they're kind of in the same position where, everyone's trying to start up their thing. And so after like a webinar, there's like a networking session and you can then, Zoom them, like, I mean, be in like a Zoom chat thing and network like online, which is really interesting. I think on like I definitely have to be very disciplined and self-motivated. Um, there's a lot of freedom to do whatever the hell I want on a daily basis. One, currently not employed, so everything um, is on me to be productive, um, and also just to structure my days. So I think I just recently finished listening to a book called Atomic Habits, and it's by this guy named James Clear. And it's basically just about like how to build healthy habits and how to break bad habits. Um, and I think that's really important because being like aware of your habits on a daily basis and not frittering away time, especially when you are having to, especially if you're like going to startup world and becoming a founder, you have to make sure that you are accountable for every single, I wouldn't say like second, it's more like maybe every single hour, every single minute of your time, because like you probably only have about like what 7 to 8, 10 hours productive. 10 hours of your day are productive. So I guess what I've learned about myself is that I have to be very disciplined with my time and to make sure that I allocate time to like certain activities to make sure that I'm getting everything that I want to get done in a day. The thing that has come out of this COVID crisis is that people can now start working from home or anywhere in the world, actually. Um, so flexible working arrangements. I think it's because I was previously in law and I didn't really enjoy what I was doing. And now I'm I'm choosing to go into like founder life and choosing to do this like startup thing. So I feel more enthusiastic about what I'm doing now. But in relation to COVID-19, I think, going into startup life where I will be working for myself and around the clock, that's another thing, is like I recognize that I will have to be disciplined with my time and make sure that I'm not working 24/7, because I probably will like get burnt out quite quickly. So my relationship to work during this COVID-19 crisis, I don't think it's really changed. Yeah, like I kind of knew that going into startup, like founder life, it would just be, I'd be working all the time. And I guess I'm still doing that regardless of COVID-19.